I have a ministry, and my ministry is to help people with disabilities. And I think the fact that Renew wants to acknowledge somebody who's involved with the disability movement is something that's very special to me. The impact that it has on people with disabilities to make sure that they know that the Catholic Church is open and very receptive to those of us with disabilities. And it's a result of what I went through as a young man, and that I had an automobile accident, injured my head, didn't know what that meant. A year later I started having seizures while I was milking cows. Now when I got elected, I decided that my ministry was going to be disabilities. Disabilities is my ministry. So I would offer amendments, and I would, a housing bill or transportation bill or whatever. And then I realized one day it didn't make any sense, because we don't have our basic civil rights. As someone with a disability, we could be legally discriminated against. We could be denied entry into a movie theater because we were a fire hazard. We could be denied entry into a restaurant because if you were blind, because you couldn't read the menu and you were bothering the waitresses or whatever. You could be denied legally any job if you had a physical disability. You could be denied because they didn't think you could do the job. And they didn't have to justify it. They could legally just say no. And so I decided that what we needed to do is go after our basic civil rights. So that's when I came up with the idea to do the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. It's one of my proudest moments in that it's now the law of the land in 52 different countries. It's had a huge impact here in the United States. But it fulfills this drive that I have of my ministry. And so when I left the Congress, I did stop. If you have a ministry, it doesn't make any difference where you are. It doesn't make any difference what you do. If you have a ministry, you still pursue it. I would have loved being a priest. I love working with people, and with people of all ages, and helping them try to succeed in their life and so forth. And when I was in the Congress, one of the jokes was that people would come in and tell me their problems, members of Congress tell me their problems about marriage problems, financial problems, whatever it was, and I would try to help them out. And so my staff would call the chair in my office the confessional. You shouldn't discriminate against people because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or their male or female and so forth. That isn't what God's all about, and Renew is about that. And that's what excites me about Renew, is that we should renew our faith and make sure that we are involved in the things that are important and so forth. And that's why I love this current Pope. I just think this current Pope is just the epitome of everything that I'd like in a Pope. I mean, practically every day I see him with somebody with a disability. And the way he reaches out to people, he's willing to touch, feels and understands and so forth. And that's what excites me. I mean, that's what I think Renew's all about. And I think that's why I'm excited about this award and so forth.